Well, hello, Professor McEwen here, and what we're going to look at is this week's discussion has to deal with the Populist Party. But before we get into that, make sure what you do is you go to the grade book where you assess your discussion one grade. Once it's been graded, read the comments that I left because I'm pretty specific for looking at what you did correctly and where you need to make improvement. So therefore, if you don't read those comments, what might happen is what's happened in the past is that students will end up making the same mistakes. Usually this falls in from not meeting the minimum requirements, so 2 paragraphs, 200 words, one-sided source, and that was properly cited. So make sure you look at that. So when we're looking at this week's discussion, it has to do with the Populist Party. And the question asks, explain the reason for the rise of the Populist Party before 1896 and the decline after the election of that year. So to correctly look at this, so these are the specifics I'm looking to, and of course you expand on it. That's where the analysis come in. The populist movement gained support because neither of the major parties in the early 1890s seemed able to address the economic and the political issues and concerns of farmers, workers, and consumers. Now, the primary reason that they began to decline was the platform of free silver was taken over by Bryan and the Democrats in 1896. Many other populist reforms, such as the graduated income tax and direct election of senators, were adopted by progressives in both parties. And this is what always happens. A third party will show up. Both parties look like, these guys are nuts. Who cares? And then all of a sudden, they begin to lose some elections, local elections or state elections. And they might have an input on the national elections of the presidency. And so what will happen is Republicans and Democrats will go in there and they will take what that third party platform is calling for and call it their own. Therefore, if you are a follower of the Populist Party, you're like, well, either I could remain loyal to the party, or I just adopt the bigger party, just really adopting the same platform, and hopefully that will win. And of course, it didn't help matters that the Populist Party chose as their presidential candidate in 1896, William Jennings Bryan. Okay? So, once again, you can send me your discussion. I highly recommend that you send it to me on Thursday. Please read my email policy about sending emails. I get a lot of spam mails. So if I don't see that, in the title, basically the class that you're in, chances are, boom, I delete it, okay, and I won't see your email, okay? So please follow those instructions. I look forward to reading your discussions this week, and let's have a great week.